Hey, asshole. Also, you answer that, asshole.
What's your problem?
That is one of my favorite clips from Marvelous Mrs. Mabel. I know I've mispronounced that. I'm going to keep that in. So, I was right. You were wrong. I was wrong. You were right. We now have a response from Wilbur Stop. I know I said I wasn't going to make another fucking video. I know that's what I said. I said final thoughts, not going to make another video. But I go on Twitter and I'm being happy because Bungo Dogs just won an award. And then I see it. Wilbur Stop has made a response. And I'm like, fuck. Ruining my fucking good mood. This is why I don't log on to Twitter. This is why I don't have a Twitter. I mean, I have a Twitter, but I don't log on to Twitter. I wasn't going to post another video because I was going to make a video on the victims. I think that is the big point here. There are things that people are ignoring. And I'm going to get into Wilbur Stop's apology or response, maybe a better word. But before we get into that, I want to talk about abuse. So there are different facets of abuse. And I think when we think about the word, probably the biggest thing that comes to mind is someone getting pushed. That's immediately what people think about. But there are different levels to abuse. And the one that comes to mind in the case of this whole situation is that the physical isolation and mental isolation and bad mouthing or being crude, lowering someone's self-esteem, those are all abuse, you know? When I was going to touch on my other video was going to be in the concept of love and why, you know, women have to take so many extra steps just to find someone willing. And even in that extra step, it is, I will now lower my standards to match someone else's. And this is not to say Wilbur was not a catch. I think looking from it from an online sphere situation, I think everyone thought Wilbur's a catch. He's the guy anyone would want to be with. He's tall, he's handsome. Online, he seems like the lovely, wonderful person. And I think that's the thing, right? Most abusers are charismatic and they know how to put on a show. And to everyone else, they are this person that works. And even when they say asshole shit to you in public, no one will call them out on their shit because they're like, oh, no, they didn't mean it like that. Or they didn't say it like that. It's not what they meant. Why are you taking this so personally? And the people that you surround yourself will gaslight you into thinking that you're the crazy one. Well, you're right. You're right. I don't know why I thought that. Why would I think that that's what they meant? You're right. You know, behind closed doors, they call you shitty. They think you look ugly. You know, it's all of these things piled onto more things. Let's get into it. So Wilbur Stop comes on Twitter a few hours ago and says, his overall comments border to the extent of, I am sorry, I'm trying to do better, I'm going to therapy, I didn't realize that I was causing my significant other pain. That's what he basically says. I'm paraphrasing, but this apology is not for me. And it's not even an apology. I think it's more of a acknowledgement of the facts. But it's really not for you either. There's nothing really he can say to us. Because here's the other thing. I've seen so many YouTubers do this. I'm going to therapy and I'm trying to be better. I'm a better person now. Why am I still getting hate? I've seen all of it before, 10 times before. Logan Paul, after the fucking Suicide Forest shit, he went on a fucking therapy tour. He did, I now understand fucking what suicide is, and I'm a better person.
Take to help prevent suicide. Step one is simply just ask. Ask yourself, ask others, are you thinking about suicide? And I know that sounds like a...
And nowadays, we know him as the guy who scams his fans.
Ding doink, you're my favorite coin. Want you to dink on my face, take a doink on my chest, yeah.
So we have some responses or reactions or whatever you want to call it to this situation by Rambo and Tubbo. I'm sure there's more. I'm going to use these two. So here we go.
Yeah, I'm not biased in this. I think that response was fucking vile. I'm like, how the hell can you make, like, how the hell can, like, this be about you, bro?
I'll link the videos in the comments / the description below. I suggest watching the full context. I always recommend that. Do your own research, do your own thoughts. I'm not telling you what to think. But it summarized a little bit what he was saying because he also was talking to his audience. And at the time, he basically says, not cool. Domestic violence is not a joke. This is not something for you to make it about, right? So there's that. We're going to play Rambo's clip next.
I'll maybe one day, like, you know, make a little, like, long Tumblr post about it or something, but that's all I wanted to say on it for now. Just again, just support. That's the main thing. And there have been people that I've seen supporting and everything, and it's very, yeah.
So his main point is to support the victims, to support these stories. And I think that is above and beyond. That's the only real main thing, which is why I do plan to make a video. It's just that for me, abuse is not, talking about the Wilbur side of it is the easier side. I won't even pretend or lie that it's like, this is the complicated part. It's not. It's not. Because we've seen this before. Skydoesminecraft comes to mind. That piece of shit. And so when I think about this, there is the story that is not being told, like I said before, is the fact is these two women and the subsequent people who might come out later, who knows, we just don't know. They don't get the same luxury as the abuser. You know, that sense of self is completely gone. And that's not something I can just rant about. That needs to be a video, like an actual informed video, because abuse is something that many people face, whether you're black, white, Asian, whether you identify as a woman or a man, or you are they, them. It's something that everyone experiences in some level. And there are people who take advantage of good people, or maybe people who are just in a bad place at the moment, right? And then someone comes in, maybe they look like Wilbur, maybe they don't, and you have like a genuine connection with that person, and you think you know them, and all of a sudden you don't know them. And there's a cycle to this. When people ask, well, why did you stay so long? Because there's a cycle to it. Abusers have methods, and there are numerous ways, right? The physical abuse, the fear of being harmed yourself, the fear of, I don't have money, I don't have a job, or I don't have this thing that I need that would make it easier for me to leave, or, well, I'm scared. I don't want to be embarrassed. I'm ashamed of being in this situation. And recently there's been a lot of stories that have come out. And so when I focused on this, I originally focused on the music side, and I want to focus on the fans. But there's one last story that I haven't focused on, and that's the real story. Because that's the harder part to do. Because, we see these types of stories of like a, guy comes out, says, oh, yeah, I did this thing, and oopsie doopsie. And then, a few years down the line, people forget.
What can I say? All the good men are taken, ladies.